I remember when this LGBTQ thing first took off, and one of the things that really disturbed me about it was that um, they were always trying to equate being black with being gay. And I had a big problem with that. Now, I know a lot of people like to jump on folks if they say anything against the LGBTQ community. And that's fine. I have been, I guess, criticized quite a bit on my views. Uh, and I'm okay with that. But to say that I used to always make the arguments that being black and being gay are not the same. They don't have the same issues. They don't have the same history. Just because two group of people have been marginalized doesn't make them equal, right? And that could open up a can of worms for a lot of people, right? But it just dawned on me that the reason why people put them both in the same category, this is my theory, is because the black church is gay now. So the black church is like the focal point of the black community, right? Like it's like our moral headquarters. And we're coming into a time period where black people they're stepping away from the church, and at the very least, especially young black people, a lot of us just aren't buying it. And I don't mean to be like mean or anything, but my thing is we're more educated, the younger generation. We've taken multiple religious studies courses and things like that. And, not only are we educated, but on top of that, particularly young black people, when we read about the origins of Christianity in the black community, it's like it makes sense on why our community is in a condition that it's in. Like in America, when you're talking about black people, they always start our history on slave ships, right? And, of course, that's, in my opinion, that's kind of gross. But I mean, because the fact that they act like we just popped up on slave ships and that's all we were was just slaves, that in and of itself is pretty offensive, right? Because that's not nearly the scope of where we come from and who we are as a people. But that's another conversation for another time. But particularly, one thing that I struggled with was when we were brought here as slaves, slavery, Christianity was forced on us as a people, right? So it's like these were the values of our slave masters. Growing up, going to church, in my mind, I was like, why are we holding on to something that comes from such a horrendous time in our history? And, it just didn't make sense to me to continue to hold on to values that were forced on my ancestors. Fast forward to now, which is a huge fast forward, I kind of get it. I'm like, okay, the black church, looking at it as like an institution. I can understand it being like a pillar in society, right? I can understand it for tax reasons. I can even understand it for moral reasons. But now we're looking at a situation where, looking at it morally, it doesn't make sense. Like, in many ways, I've seen the black church fail. Mainly, it failed women, black women in particular. When I used to go to black churches, all I saw was a bunch of single women with children. And this is when I was a teenager, and I don't know, I just had a way about myself to where I was like, not but Yeah, well, whatever. I don't want to grow up like that. Like, I don't want to turn out like this chick over here that's still praying for a man. And then her mentors are still praying for a man. And then the women who do have men in the black church, they're always complaining about their marriage. And I'm like, I don't want that. Now we're at a point where church is just, I don't know what it is, but you know, we have completely gotten away from so-called traditionalism altogether, right? So now we're even at a point where the black church is pushing homosexuality really, really heavy, right? Uh, and now it makes sense on why, you know, being black was being branded as being gay, right? This is what I mean. Trying to put it all together. So before, I'm just going to talk about like the deterioration of the church. This is strictly from my perspective, okay? As a black person, okay, coming over here, being forced into bondage perpetually, being forced into being property, and then being forced to serve the same God of my captives. Okay, fast forward, and I mean, it's a lot of mess that went into that, like, you know, with the plantations and how they ran their churches and things like that. But just jumping forward, then you get to a point where it's just a bunch of church ladies and older church men. And I don't know what the disconnect is with the old guys with their wife and kids and things like that. But then the newer generation of black men, it's like, oh, they took us out the house with social services or whatever their story is. There's this new turn where now you got a bunch of single women praying for a husband. Then it deteriorates further. Now we're at a point where the church is full of single women and gay men. And is it me, or are there more gay weddings than heterosexual weddings in the church these days? Like, it makes sense that black men don't want to go to church. Like, why would a black heterosexual man want to go to church? Like, I understand a bisexual or pansexual or whatever so-called non-traditional sexuality of man, black man would want to go to church. But why would a heterosexual black man want to go to church? Especially a heterosexual black man who's actively looking for a wife. Because from what I've seen, there are plenty of husbands in the church. Black church. And I'm talking about my folks in particular. The women even, I mean, I do see same-sex marriage amongst women. But in a way, I don't see the difference between the black church during the time of slavery and the black church now. It's still a religion that has been passed down from slavery. The value system is based off of slave-like culture. The gospel music is a hot mess. Like, some of the lyrics of some of these black gospel songs are really, really sad. Like, there was a time, like, when I was younger, I used to, like, listen to Kirk Franklin. And it was always, like, you know, like, he was always singing about not having a father. You know, and I know that's relatable to most black kids. But for somebody like me, oftentimes I felt like isolated. Like, even like Hezekiah Walker, even though his music is like more fun, it's like more upbeat stuff like that, right? But still, it's just like, it's always like, we're gonna get like this prosperity gospel, like, we're gonna get back on our feet, we're gonna be doing better now, God favored me over all of my haters. And it's like, they're still talking about stuff from high school, and it just feels like that's what the black community has been reduced to. And the black church is powering all of this. Like, I've never met a black Christian and been like, oh man, I would like to live like that. I would like to think like that. It's like, if they don't have like a preacher strong arming them, demanding a couple tens of thousands of dollars, they got a preacher that'll chew their head off if they say homosexuality is a sin. I mean, like, the black church altogether is a completely different animal, right? I don't think that the black church represents Christianity as a whole. Um, I just think that they're just all hip hopping and remixing their own thing, which they're entitled to, but not to veer too much. I just think it's intriguing that black people, we're so drawn to something that was forced on us. And now I see today that we're segueing into something completely different. Like, we're making our own thing now, and we're making it up as we go. So, lastly, I guess I'll just kind of try to throw a conclusion together. I understand it. I understand why people say, oh, being black and being gay is the same. Because I feel like the church marginalizes black people and they put us all in one bucket. It's a big peer pressure campaign. It doesn't feel like a place of worship at all. It just feels like, ooh, why you wearing it? Ooh, why you looking like that? Oh, ooh, why you dressing? It's a fashion contest. It's very good for publicity. And that's it. I don't think it has anything to do with spiritual health at all. It's just another way for this country to milk black people like they did during slavery.